Tom is shown in the opening credits dozing off on his sofa. As soon as he awakens, he runs to his room's window and sees a criminal attempting to steal a vehicle. Tom immediately approaches them and tells them to go, but they ignore him. And a fight breaks out. He severely beats the thieves and warns them that if he ever saw them, they would pay dearly. Tom leaves, but the next day, word comes out that Tom severely assaulted several innocent lads. The media is now focusing on him. The department sends Tom to a counselor because they are concerned about him for some therapy, but Tom treats everyone disrespectfully, even the counselor. Then Elizabeth appears. She is a policeman and she visits Tom. She informs him that she has been working covertly for a considerable amount of time. She had to consume drugs while undercover since she was on a mission to stop drug traffickers. Must demonstrate to the dealers that she is a member of their group. Elizabeth informs him, and she then began using drugs and was sent to treatment when she returned. She seems melancholy despite Tom's efforts to cheer her up. After that, Tom visits Chief Bruce Roberts. He collaborates with Tom as an inspector. They are on their way to see his recently deceased wife's remains when Tom eventually takes Bruce to a pub when he becomes agitated. Tom attempts to cheer up Bruce as they drink. The following scene depicts a female police officer strolling down a road. A guy with a hood approaches her and shoots her. When Tom learns of this and arrives at the murder site, everyone questions him about Bruce. However, he claims that he is still grieving the loss of his loving wife and will not do so. Be employed for some time to fill in for Bruce. Porter Nash is the name of the individual. Nonetheless, he is unpopular with the other officers, and they do not want to serve under his direction. Because Porter is allegedly homosexual, according to rumors. They have no other option since Porter is the officer who has been assigned to them by a higher-ranking officer. Porter finds a surprising friend in the brash, hot-tempered Detective Sergeant Tom, a teenage gang member called Metal who is terrified if his group visits Elizabeth. Had the potential to have murdered someone. She assures the kid that she would check into the matter. She tells him that if the guy is dead, he would have to repay her since this is the only time she will do him this favor. If the guy is still alive, he must also depart from the city and the gang. Tom then invites her to visit Craig after hearing about the whole account. Craig Stokes, a detective inspector. We show a reporter getting a call from Barry, who claims to be the one who did it. Shot the police officer and continues by saying that his job is not done. During the next few days, focus more on police officers. He approaches another police officer as he speaks. Barry then informs the reporter that he has 8 more police officers on the scene and shoots him as well. Porter visits Tom and inquires about Tom once the story becomes viral. Whether he is the guy that others say he is. At this point, they learn that a second police officer has been shot. Dead, they begin to apprehend every criminal in the city. Tom visits a city informant who works for him. Radner directs Tom and Porter to Barry Weiss, a guy who recently boasted about. Despite Tom and Porter visiting Barry's apartment, they are unable to locate any proof against him right away. He first seems a bit perplexed by the police officer in front of him, but being a highly cunning murderer, he maintains his composure. Tom knows Barry as the person he fought and defeated in a pool club. On the other hand, promptly grabs some of his belongings and walks outside to conceal them someplace. However, Tom's spy follows him and learns where Barry hides his belongings. When Radner chooses to look into the matter on his own, he soon learns the innocuous. The fact that Barry stores his kill trophies in an abandoned automobile proves that Weiss is the murderer. In the middle of all of this, Bruce visits a shop to get some alcohol. Once it dawns on him that he is ruining his life, he decides to return to work. He checks in at the police station and resumes his employment. Barry follows Bruce as he leaves for home. Barry knocks on Bruce's door. As soon as he gets inside, Barry assaults him. Bruce does not back down from a fight since he is a police officer himself. He grabs a hammer, and just as he's ready to strike Barry with it, Barry grabs it away. Taking his weapon away, he repeatedly strikes him with the hammer. He was killed. He leaves his residence after stealing his outfit. Calls the journalist once again and informs him that he has murdered Bruce, the third police officer. He continues by saying that he wants his name to be on the news the next day. To instruct Blitz to tell the reporter to identify him. Tom then learns that Bruce has passed away. Because Bruce was a close buddy, he feels stunned. But Tom's informant has been following him from the beginning, and he has. When he gets to the vehicle, he notices Barry's belongings. The informant then makes a call to the same reporter and claims to know who the killer is. He then attempts to negotiate with the reporter, demanding $50,000. Seeking the location of anything that might identify the murderer. The journalist concurs. He receives the parking lot's address from the informant. The informant immediately takes the reporter there and shows him what's in the vehicle. Though he may not believe everything, he is certain that this is Bruce's attire. Barry has been monitoring things in the meanwhile and noticed that a reporter was brought there by this inebriated jerk. Elizabeth visits Craig in a different location and inquires about the status of that man, but he informs her that he was hurt, yet he is still alive. He continues by informing her that the guy has not even maiden as of yet. Craig responds that he wants when Elizabeth asks what she can do for him in exchange. Contrarily, the reporter adopts the informant to a pub, where he hands over the whole sum of money. He continues by stating that he must visit the restroom. When the reporter asks him for the killer's identity, he replies that after he exits the restroom, he will tell him his name. Barry has been following them, so you can see that he is also there. The elderly guy begins to shudder as soon as he sees the murderer. He cries out for help, but Barry doesn't know the term mercy, and he continues by killing the informant. The police are notified of the automobile by the reporter, Dunlop, but they discover it to be empty. Tom and a companion. Realizing that all of Blitz's victims to yet have been cops, the police constable. After returning from her date with Stokes, Elizabeth is assaulted by Barry but is rescued by Metal, who is slain in the conflict that follows. Porter and Tom plan to show a photo of Barry to the media to flush him out, which ultimately results in Barry's capture after a protracted pursuit. Yet, there is no hard proof against him, thus even though he was questioned for 48 hours and Barry must be released by the police since their efforts do not succeed. Tom and Porter come up with a prank on Barry, anticipating that he would want to get vengeance on Tom for the altercation in the pool hall. Barry then sneaks into Chief Inspector Bruce's funeral. Barry follows Tom to the parking garage's top, only to find that Porter and Tom had traded places somewhere along the way. Barry is brutally assaulted, outmatched, and stripped of his firearm. Stating what they will do. Tom believes that they are now in a situation where they will never have enough evidence to lawfully prosecute Barry. Since Barry is disguised as a police officer and Tom has Barry's pistol, in light of it, Tom kills Barry by shooting him. Porter then proceeds to eliminate all that is proven. He releases the dogs on Dunlop. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.